I never thought my life would look like this. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. James and I had been together for 5 years. People often said we were the perfect couple. We laughed together, shared meals, and talked about our dreams. I always felt safe in our home. But safety can be an illusion. It all began on a Friday evening. James said he had to work late. He kissed me on the forehead and promised he would be home by midnight. I didn't feel worried. I trusted him. I decided to read a book in the living room while waiting for him. The lights were soft, and the clock ticked slowly as the hours passed. I noticed my phone vibrating repeatedly. It was messages from an unknown number. First I ignored them, then curiosity won, and I opened the messages. My heart stopped. The messages were not meant for me, and they were not friendly. They were intimate. They were from another woman. I froze. My hands trembled. My mind could not accept the truth. James, the man I loved, the one I shared everything with, was not faithful. I sat there staring at the phone, tears rolling down my cheeks. How long had this been happening? How could I have not noticed the signs? Memories flashed through my mind. The nights he said he was working late. The sudden phone calls he never wanted me to hear. The secretive smiles when I asked him about his day. Now everything made sense, but it hurt more than I could explain. The perfect life was a lie, and I felt a strange emptiness. It was like standing in a dark room without any light. I could hear the ticking clock, but it did not comfort me. The silence was heavy, full of lies I had lived with. I wondered how I could have been so blind. My mind was full of questions, but there were no answers. By the time I went to bed, James still had not returned. I felt a cold chill, not because of the night air, but because of the truth I had discovered. Alone in my bed, I realized that the man I loved was not who I thought he was. I did not know what to do. I could not confront him yet. I needed time to think. I cried silently, hoping he would come home and everything would be a misunderstanding. But deep down I knew the truth was real. Trust, once broken, leaves a scar. That night I fell asleep with my heart heavy, uncertain of my future. The next morning I woke up early. James was still not home. I tried to focus on my routine, but my mind was restless. Breakfast felt tasteless, and the sunlight through the window did not bring warmth. I knew I had to face this. I had to know the truth. That I started checking his phone when he left it on the kitchen counter. It was risky, but I needed answers. Messages, photos, and calls confirmed my worst fears. There was another woman, someone he had been seeing for months. The thought made my stomach turn. I remembered the subtle hints I had ignored. The perfume that wasn't mine, the sudden trips that he never mentioned, and the nights he came home smelling like someone else. I had believed in coincidences, in innocent explanations. But now I could see the full picture. I also realized he had been planning something. There were hotel reservations, dinner dates, and little gifts he never gave me. I felt deceived, not just by his actions but by the lies he carefully created. Every memory of us laughing together now had a shadow. Every promise he made seemed hollowed up. By noon, I could no longer hold back my emotions. I needed to talk to someone, but I could not tell my friends yet. I felt ashamed, not because it was my fault, but because of how deeply I had been betrayed. I sat on the sofa, hugging my knees, feeling completely alone. Then came a knock at the door. I froze. It was James. He smiled as if nothing had happened. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream, but I stayed quiet. I looked at him and realized that this man, the one I loved, was capable of hiding an entire life from me. He tried to start a conversation, asking about my day. I remained silent. His smile faded, replaced by confusion. I knew I had to confront him, but my fear of what I might feel held me back. How do you confront someone who betrayed your trust in the deepest way possible? We sat in silence. The room felt colder, emptier. I wanted to ask him about the messages, but my voice trembled. He did not notice my emotions at first, which hurt even more. Finally I whispered, James, there's something I need to show you. He looked puzzled. I handed him his phone, and watched as his expression changed. Shock, fear, guilt. It all passed across his face like clouds. But the damage was done. The trust we had built for years was shattered. But I realized then that some betrayals are too deep to ignore. I could forgive perhaps, but I would never forget. That day, I understood that love alone cannot survive lies and infidelity. That evening, I confronted James fully. I wanted answers and I needed honesty. I asked him everything: why, when, and how long. He hesitated but eventually admitted the truth. He had been seeing someone else for 6 months. He said he did not know why he did it, that he loved me, but also was tempted by the excitement of someone new. His words felt like knives. 6 months of lies, hidden moments, secret conversations. All while I had trusted him completely. I wanted to scream, cry, hit something, anything. But I did not. I felt numb. The betrayal had robbed me of my emotions, but he apologized repeatedly. But I could see that words alone could not fix this. The person I thought I knew, the man I trusted with my heart, had chosen someone else. I remembered all our plans, our future dreams, and wondered if any of it had ever been real to him. I asked him if he loved me. He hesitated and said yes, but it felt like a weak truth. Love cannot exist alongside secrets and lies. I realized then that I could not continue living with someone who had betrayed me so deeply. My heart was broken, but I knew I had to protect myself. That night I packed some essentials and decided to stay at my sister's house. Leaving felt both painful and liberating. Painful because I still loved him. Liberating because I no longer had to live in shadows and lies. I wanted to reclaim my sense of self, my dignity, and my life. While driving to my sister's house, memories of our happy moments came back. I cried, not just for the betrayal, but for the illusion of love I had held onto. I wondered if I was naive, if I had ignored red flags, or if this was just life's cruel lesson. My sister's house. I felt safe for the first time in months. She hugged me and listened to everything without judgment. Her support reminded me that even in betrayal, I was not alone. Love from friends and family can heal wounds that betrayal creates. I realized that confronting him was not just about knowing the truth. It was about reclaiming my power. I could choose whether to let this betrayal define me, or whether to rise above it. I decided that I would not let his actions destroy my self-worth. And the days that followed, I focused on myself. I spent hours journaling, walking in nature, and reconnecting with friends. I allowed myself to feel sadness, anger, and disappointment, but I also sought moments of peace. Healing is not instant, but each small step mattered. I cut off communication with James completely. Seeing him, even for a brief conversation, would have reopened the wound. I realized that sometimes the bravest thing is to walk away from someone you love. Betrayal does not just break trust. It can break your spirit if you let it. I found solace in writing. I wrote about my feelings, my pain, and my hopes for the future. Each word helped me release the emotions that were trapped inside. I even started reading again, losing myself in stories where characters found their own strength after betrayal. Over time, I noticed subtle changes in myself. I felt more confident, more aware of my value. I refused to settle for someone who could not honor my love. I began to dream again, not of someone else's approval, but of my own happiness. Months passed. I no longer felt the sharp pain of betrayal every day. It was still there like a scar, but it reminded me that I survived, that I grew stronger. I knew I would love again someday, but it would be with someone who respected my heart. Being left alone in the dark taught me a harsh but valuable lesson. Love can be beautiful, but trust is fragile. Betrayal can hurt deeply, but resilience and self-love can heal even the deepest wounds. Now I walk in the light of my own strength, no longer defined by his lies. I learned that sometimes being alone is not a curse. It is an opportunity to rediscover yourself, to rise from the shadows, and to embrace a future where you are whole again.